One of this week's top stories we mentioned earlier, Representative Victoria Spartz changing course, deciding she is going to run for another term after all. This week we saw some internal polling showing her 30 points ahead of a very crowded field in the 5th District, though this week a number of local leaders endorsed one of Spartz's primary opponents, State Rep Chuck Goodrich. They're both from Noblesville. This week, Noblesville's mayor put out this statement the day of Spartz's announcement, saying Hoosiers in the 5th deserve to be represented in D.C. by stable, focused, and results-driven conservative leadership. He said that's why he's proud to support Chuck Goodrich, who he said would stand for our shared principles in a way that doesn't seek chaos and division. We're going to talk about all that right now with our panel. Here with us this week, we have former state party chair for the Indiana Democrats, Robin Winston, and 2016 vice chair for the Indiana Trump campaign, Tony Samuel, along with former state representative Mike Murphy and UIndy political science professor, Dr. Laura Wilson. Mike, that statement there from Mayor Chris Jensen certainly seemed to say an awful lot without directly referencing Spartz by name. Mayor Fadness of Fishers also endorsed Goodrich. How do you see this playing out for Republicans in the 5th?
Well, I think, first of all, Jensen and Fadness, two of the outstanding leaders in Hamilton County, and people do listen to them. You know, for Spartz, this is par for the course. She's, you know, one position one day, one position the next day. She leads Congress in the highest turnover rate for staff. She actually has a higher turnover rate for staff than Todd Rokita did, and he had a record at one point. So she is, if stable is what they want, you don't want Spartz.
So, Tony, after what we saw this week in Congress, Republicans unable to pass the bipartisan border deal, failing to get enough votes to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary. Congress, again, at something of a standstill on these. And given all that, it kind of begs the question, why does she want to come back to Congress at this point?
That's a great question. Why would she? She's got her reasons, and I guess, you know, she has the right to change her mind. In bad form, I think, but, you know, because she led everyone to believe she said she's leaving, and then you get Chuck Goodrich spending $1 million or more. So it's going to be ugly. It's just another example of the craziness of this political season. But you know, the voters will have to decide, and it'll be a sprint to the finish. You know, it could open the door for one of the other 9 candidates, like a Raju Chintala or somebody like that. We'll see.
A lot of undecided still in that internal poll. Laura, I want to get your thoughts on this border deal as well. Senator Braun, who's running for governor, faced some backlash for tweeting that the deal was, quote, dead in the water, along with a picture of the Rio Grande River, where, of course, in the past, migrants have died trying to cross. Obviously, this is all a very sensitive issue, but it's one that Congress just doesn't seem poised to do anything about this election year.
No, they've certainly tried, but it's just this political hot potato. And I think one thing that highlights in this particular issue, it's not just across party lines, but also the division within the 2 chambers, because the Senate had a deal. McConnell and Schumer were a part of it. Then you hear from Mike Johnson, it's dead on arrival. We won't be addressing it in the House. I think the other thing that's important with this particular issue, it wasn't just border security. It was also talking about aid in terms of Israel and Gaza and that war, aid for Ukraine, which has obviously become controversial too, support for Taiwan. There was a whole lot wrapped into this legislation, and it just went nowhere.
We'll see where it all goes from here. And Robin, as we talk about this race for governor, which of course includes Mike Braun, Suzanne Crouch, and also Brad Chambers and Jennifer McCormick, who we heard from earlier, who filed this week. McCormick used to be a Republican. This week, as Chambers filed his candidacy, he told State Affairs, we need people to come out to know it's an open primary and participate. Referencing that open primary, as Chambers did, is that a pitch to moderates, maybe even Democrats, to go vote in the GOP primary?
Well, first off, I thought he was a Republican. It's probably a pitch to the Republican base that's going to be voting for Nikki Haley. I think that, you know, Democrats are not going to go vote for Brad Chambers for governor. They're going to vote for Jennifer McCormick for governor. But there is that whole Daniels wing of the party, Lugar wing of the party that he's trying to appeal to that really is basically his base. And if he doesn't get that vote, then he's really in trouble. He's not going to get the Trump vote. He's the only candidate, unless you guys correct me, that hasn't endorsed Trump in this race as a Republican. Yeah. So I think that that's a big deal.
Mike, what are your thoughts on that? And also on this primary overall, 6 candidates now. Some thought it would be 5. The Jamie Reitenauer campaign may not have many financial resources, but they went out, they got the signatures. It looks like she's going to be on the ballot.
Well, first of all, I think Chambers is asking for Democratic voters. I mean, he did contribute to Obama, right? Yes. So he's been a Democrat before he was a Republican. He also gave to some liberal Lady Gaga Foundation and various other causes and Democratic candidates. And so is he really Republican or is he not? I don't know. The front runners are clearly Suzanne Crouch, the sitting lieutenant governor, and Mike Braun, the sitting U.S. senator. They have the most money. The only people that are happy with the Chambers campaign are the consultants who he's sitting there writing checks to every day.
Chambers got on the ballot this week. There were also questions about whether Nikki Haley would get on the ballot. She did, and said Trump was, quote, confused about the Indiana deadline process. Tony, Trump and Biden both made a lot of news here this past week ahead of a race that still seems to favor both of them winning their primaries, despite a lot of polls showing that people aren't so sure they want to see this matchup again.
Well, I think it was a big week for Trump. He won big in Nevada. And then the Supreme Court hearing the Colorado case. Sounds like they're going to go either 9-0 or 8-1 in his favor. We'll see. Terrible week for Biden. The special counsel report came out.
They cleared him, but perhaps a lot of politically
but really hurt him politically.
Yeah.
He went out on Thursday night and did a press conference. That made things worse. People are questioning his mental and physical fitness, and they should. But I'm even more concerned with the issues, and I think that's what people will come back to. That's what they should come back to. The issues and the policies matter the most, and that's what they're judging Biden on, and that's why he either won't be the nominee or will lose if he is.
Robin, I want to get your response to all of that and to this rather historic week in the news. President Biden responding to that special counsel report we mentioned, and as former President Trump goes to the Supreme Court. How do you see this all playing out?
I don't have enough time to respond to all what Tony said, but I'll try to encapsulate it. Joe Biden didn't run away from the prosecutors when they asked for his documents. Your guy hit him and refused to give them back. Joe Biden would never forget the date that his son died, and that prosecutor really should be taken to task for that. And Joe Biden was in the middle of dealing with Hamas, Israel, and those things when he sat down for 5 unmitigated hours to respond. So I don't know that that's the same. I don't know you compare that. The other thing I'd say to you is on the prosecutors, remember, Jim Comey did the same thing in 2016 to throw the election there. They need to back off. I thought the Department of Justice had a rule about that.
Meantime, as we mentioned earlier, Todd Rokita was there in D.C. this week arguing on behalf of the former president in that Supreme Court case. But Laura, he also made news here in Indiana this week with this new Eyes on Education website that seems to be drawing a lot of backlash already.
Yeah, it does. And especially when you hear from the Department of Education that they weren't aware this was going to happen necessarily. I'm not sure exactly what the play is here, what the strategy is, but it's very interesting to see, and quite frankly, drawing a lot more attention to Rokita and to his office. I'm not sure that he necessarily needed to have.
Rokita, of course, up for re-election this year. This week's Larry Sabato crystal ball actually moved that race from safe Republican to leans Republican. We'll see what happens and who actually ends up on the ballot in that race this year. That process going to each party's conventions this summer to see who will be on the ballot this year for AG. Coming up next, though, talking about the Super Bowl this weekend in the midst of everything else. By the way, same Super Bowl matchup as 4 years ago. Another big event coming here to Indiana next weekend as well, the NBA All-Star Game. We're going to look at some of the community events that are happening and the impact across the state. Up next, stick around.